Okay, hi everyone. In this video I've had a couple of questions sent to me a couple of times repeatedly asking me how do I get it so that the lighting in a room is so even, or the other question is how do I do it so I expose for outside. Now there's two ways of doing this. First of all, I'm just going to show you a couple of examples. So this is a room where if exposed for the outside, all you see is what is effectively some stones and a tree. And then when you expose for the room and you bring in flash, in fact that one was with flash, so I've got flash around me blasting off as hard as it can, and it's just not able to do it. But then when I just kind of go, we're not interested in seeing the kind of greeny, mushy, stony things outside, then I just expose for the room, because you're really wanting to show the inside of the room. If there is a view out there, which at this angle there wasn't, however, when I got closer to the table, which you'll see, table here, I've got there's a little bonsai tree, there is a view, look at this. So it's a view looking straight up to Edinburgh Castle. So you've got a little bonsai tree there, and I'm just down in the corner, and I'm using the flash to expose the room area, and there I've exposed for the outside. So that's kind of like, oh, that's why you're buying that house or renting that house, because that's an awesome view. But again, even if I was standing up looking straight, it's still just like greeny, mushy hill and kind of winter tree, not that interesting. So think about what you're trying to show. If there is an amazing view, try and get it. If there's not, don't try and expose for the outside. Another example was this room in same building but different property. Top floor, and again, bed wasn't made, there's nothing kind of really in the room to make it look spectacular. But here you get to see the size of the room, the shape of it, and the fact there's a sloping wall, cool, and you can see that over there's a bathroom. That's what you're trying to get across. However, if I was then to do another shot where you go, uh-oh, outside the window, we can see there's Edinburgh Castle again. How awesome is that? That's great, but now the room just looks so dark and miserable, and just not really promoting it as well as, say, that image. What I could do is a massive effort. So I could bring in extra flashes, do multiple layers, maybe do HDR, maybe expose for that, then expose for the room, and do all the Photoshop editing and all that kind of stuff. But nah, not got the time to do that. If you do, I would say absolutely do it. If you are shooting one house a day, 2 houses a day maybe, and you've got as long as you want inside the property and you're not paying for parking and all that kind of stuff, you can just sit there and just shoot the place as much as you want. I would say definitely taking a tripod, do multiple exposures and spend the time doing the editing. However, just be prepared that you're possibly quadrupling, maybe more, the effort that you need to put into the editing afterwards. Well, I'll just show you one more. This one was a closer example. So this is another flat which is in just today, and it's got a great view over a part of the meadows in Edinburgh, which is the kind of parky area. But again, sometimes the view, certainly in Scotland, just isn't that great a thing to capture. I'd understand if you're like a skyscrapers and you're in this, New York or something, that'd be pretty awesome. But here were the 2 shots. So that was the unedited shot. So all I've really done is taken away the vignetting and the curves and all that kind of stuff. But effectively, and a little bit of light fill going on in there. Trying to expose for outside, even though it was a sunny day and the sun was coming in, there's still cloud out there. It still looks kind of a pretty miserable and winter scene, and just, yay. So again, like the room now just looks dark and miserable. Meanwhile here, warm and cozy. Or this one, yeah, warm and cozy and bright. But the dark and miserable, if I were to edit this one, just as it were, I could possibly keep the highlights down, bring the shadows right up, maybe bring the exposure up. So you're getting there, but now we've pretty much lost what was outside. There's very little difference from this one to that one. Oh, and the amount of noise, look at the noise that you're getting in the picture as well. So it's just not going to happen. But what you can say is that if I were to go in there with multiple flashes, even though I do normally use multiple flashes, but when I do use multiple flashes, it's usually they're in a different room, not in the same room, because they just cause too many shadows. Just don't really expose for the outside. What I can say is if you are going to go full leather and put the effort in, there's something that some people have been sending me, which I've just for the last 5 minutes just been kind of blown away by this guy, Mike Kelly, F-Stoppers Original. You can buy his full 8 hours of video of how to shoot real estate, and you've got to remember this guy is shooting some pimped out properties, which I would say would be great, but that's not everyday work. And I think if there are a couple people that can do stuff like him, that's the market full. So unless you're in a place that has amazing properties and you know, amazing views, if there's not already a photographer doing it, you're probably not going to get into the business of doing that. You will be shooting real estate stuff, but just like, oh my goodness, but just been watching what he's been saying and just all the walking around going on. In fact, from one photo from the outside, it's gone from bright daylight to dusk. You just kind of go, whoa, that's and no disrespect or anything. Like what he's producing is fantastic. But if you've got to have the time, you've got to have the budget and all that kind of stuff. This is not something which you do for 50 quid, 150 quid or anything like that. This is something, he's obviously got a couple of grand to shoot this, and he's got day, night, maybe 2 days, probably travel expenses all the way there kind of stuff. So if I was shooting that stuff, I would go to the amount of effort that he's doing. However, if you're just shooting local real estate stuff, you've got to balance effort, time and effort with just the amount of the quantity of work that you've got to produce. So if you've got 5 houses a day to shoot, you don't have that much time to be able to go through all edit, multiple layers, floor plan, you know, all that kind of stuff. Just don't worry about it. Just make sure that the room looks nice. If it's got a great view, take a shot of the view. And the other thing is, if you're using flash, what you want to do is balance it so that the amount of light coming in from the window roughly equals the amount of light coming from your flash, so you don't have a big kind of flash area and then outside. That's the balancing, which maybe I'll do in a video in the future. So there you go, hope it helps. Cheers, bye bye.